Alright, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of What the Heck Do I Dance For? This week, my guest on the show is Lena Alvarez. Lena is currently a trainee at Sacramento Ballet and was one of the first dancers here to talk to me. And we only spent the first month bonding over our time at Ballet Met because Lena had gone to the 2022 Summer Intensive at Ballet Met. Lena is a very positive and warm person, and it's a joy to work with her in the studios. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of this clip of Lena dancing, and I hope you also enjoy this episode and what Lena has to say. Thanks, guys. All right, hello everyone, and welcome to episode 4 of What the Heck Do I Dance For? And today, my guest is Lena Alvarez. Wait, did I say that right?
Good job.
Okay, all right, good. Yeah, how are you doing, Lena?
I'm doing pretty great. I had a fruitful day off, one of two before we go into the theater. So I had a great day. No dancing, no exercise, just food and Pocahontas too.
Very nice. Yeah, I forgot we are going to the theater in 2 days.
I know I'm not like mentally prepared for it because I feel like for Nutcracker it was just kind of ingrained, and then for Swan Lake it's just like, oh, we're gonna be in there. But I think it'll be kind of fun. Or I know it will be fun.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, all right. Let's get started. Where are you from, Lena?
I am from Ventura, California. I grew up there and I went to regular school all the way through high school, and then I moved here to Sacramento about a year and a half ago in 2021 in July.
Oh, okay, nice. How did you start dancing?
It's actually a funny story. I started dancing really young, which a lot of people in ballet do. But I was the one who asked to be put in dance because my mom, I was a very active child. I was always dancing and creating chaos. But my parents just never thought to put me into sports or anything until I was older. But when I was about 3, my mom and I went to see a ballet, and I was just awestruck. And so up until that, or after that point, I kind of just begged her to put me in classes. And then she did. And I took a break when I was 6, and I've been doing it ever since.
Oh, nice. Yeah. How many different places have you danced at before
Um,
coming to Sac Ballet?
I started at a local studio, and I danced there until I was 5, but they went belly up, so I couldn't dance there anymore. And that's when I took a break. And then my mom just coincidentally found the studio that I was at from like 7 to 18. And it was just like a complete blessing. It's where I grew up, it's a second home. And it's called Footworks Youth Ballet. Shout out to everyone there. It's a great studio, and it just really taught me everything that I needed to know to get to the next step of my career. And then now I'm at Sac Ballet. So only 3 places, not too many. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Um, yeah, and then tell me how you got into Sac Ballet.
I it was very random. It wasn't planned. I was looking for pre-professional programs outside of my hometown because there aren't
Hmm.
any. There's a company in Santa Barbara, but I knew that it would be better for me to move away from home. And so yeah, I was just looking, but I wasn't really that exposed to the dance world outside of my own hometown. So I auditioned for the Royal Ballet School, Birmingham Royal Ballet, ABT, and like Joffrey or something random. And then those are like the four places. Like if I didn't go there, I didn't know. There was just no other option basically. This was right at the end of the lockdown, so I kind of didn't really know where I was at. And it happened to be, I think it was about 2 years ago this time actually. My uncle, one of my uncles who I'm pretty close with, was talking to me about, what my plan was going to be after high school. And he offered for me to move in with him and to Sacramento. And I thought, well, I've been to Sacramento once. It's just like government buildings. It's kind of boring. Why would I want to live there? And he said, well, maybe there's a program at Sac State or something. And so my mom and I researched it and there was nothing. And then he called us one day and he said, I found there's a Sacramento Ballet. And I was like, okay, I've never heard of them. They're probably really bad. And then I did like the whole YouTube stock number and I kind of fell in love with the company, but I thought, I was getting rejection letters. I also got into Oregon Ballet, not for their second company, but just for the summer. But so it was between Oregon and Sacramento
Oh,
because
okay.
I had gotten rejected from, all the places that I auditioned for because it was just a little bit unrealistic at the stage that I was at that time. And so yeah, it was between Oregon and Sacramento. And I just chose Sacramento and I got into, I think, their second highest level of the school. So I wasn't even in their trainee program. And I thought, oh, well, as soon as I get there, I'll be the best person there, or whatever. I get ahead of myself a lot of the time. And then I got there and to put it nicely, I was the least experienced person there. And so my first
Oh.
summer, they were kind of rough. They were switching management at that time. And then I
Mm.
made friends with Darby, who's another member of the second company. And we were both like, oh, we're two people in the school who want to move to the trainee level. And we just worked our butts off, and after 2 months luckily we got promoted. So kind of an unusual story, but everybody has their own path. So I'm a big advocate of that. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And then yeah, just tell me what it's been like as a trainee at Sac Ballet.
uh it's been amazing, honestly. I mean, I've this year and last year especially, I made some of the deepest friendships that I've ever made with people, and I've had so many life-changing experiences, not only centered around ballet, which I feel like is really important, but just speaking from like the leadership perspective, the leadership at SAC is really unique, and I haven't been to every place, but I feel like it's kind of unparalleled to anywhere else because the teachers are really invested in you long term. And I'm just, I feel like
Hmm.
I've been able to click with our director, Jill, in a lot of ways because we both understand that dance isn't the only option and it's not the end all goal. Um,
Right?
yeah, it's just opened up so many doors for me in the Pilates realm and just like physical health, I guess. Um, and yeah, I don't know. It's just that's kind of a vague answer, I feel like. But
No, that's a good answer.
Yeah, it's been great. It's been a really good experience for me. I'm very classically oriented, so it's opened up a lot of possibilities in contemporary and
Yeah.
improv and choreographing. We had a choreographic workshop last year, and that was really awesome. I'm hoping to get to do that again this year. So, yeah.
Yeah. So you said you were originally in the school academy when you first came here, and then after
Yes.
2 months you were moved to the trainee program, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So, from what I understand, the trainee program has had a lot of changes for the past year and a half.
Yes. Definitely. We had a different director between, I guess, if you count the summer, like June, July until October of 2021. And because of family situation, he had to leave, and Jill just stepped in. I don't even know if she was in the. I mean, she became in the um, mix of a potential director, but when I met Jill, she was like the scariest person I knew. She wasn't. She was a little bit. Yeah, she was kind of intimidating and very strict. Had a very clear vision about what she wanted, and so when I learned that she was becoming the new trainee director, I was kind of scared out of my mind. But I also had kind of a good feeling about it because of how strict she is. I just knew that she was going to lead this program in a really good way. Um, and she's definitely done that. I mean, there's a good we're on a good track, or Sac Ballet's on a good track. Yeah, so it was kind of hectic last year with all of the changes in leadership, and um, I'm planning on staying another year at Sac Ballet as a trainee, which at first I was feeling a little bit weird about, but everybody has their own path, and it kind of feels like this is my real first year here. So next year will be just a really nice solidifying year before I look
Yeah.
for like a more second company paid position, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after last year, um, or well, this year is the first inaugural year of Sacramento Ballet Second Company. Would you like
Yes.
to explain how that works?
Yes, it's very confusing. I would be happy to. So basically, I will try to do this as simply as possible. The second company is an umbrella term for SB2, the paid position of the second company, and the trainees who still pay tuition. Um, yeah, and so when we do performances together, or since we're a Nutcracker, we're just called the second company. Um, SB2 is comprised of 6 to 8 dancers, and they get to perform with the company a little bit more. Like, I know Joseph, for example, is doing Spanish with the company for Swan Lake, which is super, super awesome. And yeah, you just get a little bit more opportunities. It's kind of like a almost apprentice position, or what some companies would consider an apprentice position. Um, but we still they still take class mainly with the trainees. They have 1 day a week where they're with the company. Maybe that'll change next year. I'm not sure. And then the trainees, it's just a very kind of right now the range of levels is a little bit widespread, but um, it's the highest level of the school in a sense. Although I know we're trying to, or the leadership at Sac Ballet is trying to make it its own entity separate from the school. So that was a simple, not so simple explanation to that. But yeah, I know even the school director doesn't even
Yeah.
remember who's a what and who does what. So yeah, hopefully there will be more clarity next year.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, my only perception or main perception of a second company was at Ballet Met when I was a trainee there. And
Yeah.
their second company is way different from Sacramento Ballet second company.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
I see Ballet Met second company more as definitely an apprentice spot because they only have main company and they don't have ranks. So
Yes,
I see Ballet
exactly.
Met second company as more of an apprentice spot,
Yeah, and I feel like
whereas Sacramento Ballet does have apprentice spots.
yes. Yeah, and I feel like yeah, the level of um dancers, like the level that the dancers that they choose is a little bit closer to that company level, and I would say be met to is more like a 1 year program. Even if it is a 2 year program, like they're ready if they audition for companies
Yeah,
around the US or wherever, they would probably get a contract after that first year, definitely. Whereas Sac Ballet
right.
for SB2, it might be, after the 2 years. I don't know. That's just it's
Hmm.
very one thing that I've noticed about Sac Ballet is they like to see their students go up all the ranks. Like Alexa wasn't ever in the school, but she was in a trainee for 2 years, and then she was at a high enough level where she became an apprentice. So she's just like worked her way up.
Hmm.
I noticed that they don't typically bring in a lot of people just at the apprentice level already. They like to like work their way up a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Um, I just wanted to rewind to your summer, your previous summer, or summer of 2022. You were at Ballet Met Summer Intensive,
I
and by that
was.
time, I had already said goodbye to Ballet Met. I thought I was
Yes.
going to be dancing at Nashville Ballet in their school this year, but like when I came here and I met you, we pretty much just talked about your summer at Ballet Met.
Yes.
How was that for you?
It was an experience to say the least. Because this is getting put on YouTube, I won't go too into detail. But the best way I can say it is it just wasn't a good match for me, which was a little disappointing because
Mm,
the past 2 years I've done summer intensives, they've been a little wonky. So I'm looking at my options for this year and kind of being particular about place because summer intensives can be really enriching, and I felt like mine was a little bit traumatizing, to say it simply. But yeah, it wasn't the best match. I learned a lot though, and I really connected with a couple of the teachers, Olivia and Caitlin and Carrie and Leland. It was really amazing. My favorite part of their summer intensive was the company rep week because it was just like I would consider. I don't think I would, but I would consider going back for the company rep week because it was just an amazing experience, and I felt like it was really
hmm.
fundamental to this next year when we did the contemporary workshop with Alana Goldman. That experience at Ballet Met
Mm.
really helped me with that, and yeah, it was just a journey. I think I figured out, you in the dance industry when you get offered a job, the chances are you're more likely to take it, but it's still good to know. I haven't been in that position yet. I'm just like saying in general. It's good to know like your boundaries and your limits. And one thing that I figured out for myself is that like that outside environment, separate from the studio, is really important to me. And I just felt like Ohio wasn't the best vibe for the kind of life that I would like to cultivate. And Sacramento is right now, or Portland, or Seattle, maybe one day if I'm fortunate enough, and if that's the right choice, and dreams change a lot. Like two
Yeah.
years ago, this time I thought I was going to be like a principal at Royal Ballet, which maybe that'll happen, but I don't know if I want it to. So it's like It's important to know what your priorities are and to be honest with
Hmm.
yourself. You know, we need to make a living in this industry, but you also can't kill yourself doing what you think is right, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool
Yeah.
that we get to connect on Ballet Met. So,
It is, yeah. All right, next question. Are you a turner or a jumper?
I'm a jumper. I'm working on my turns though. I think they've definitely gotten better since I joined at Sac Ballet. Um, but yeah, I just love jumps. Like as soon as whoever's teaching our class says warm up jumps, I'm hyped up. I'm ready to bounce. Yeah. But yeah, I would eventually love
Yeah,
to
do
be
you?
both because doing both is
Yeah,
just like the best ever. Yeah.
right. Yeah. Do you have like a favorite, or do you prefer petite allegro, medium allegro, or just all of it?
I mean, I'll tell you what I don't like because I pretty much like everything. I don't like really slow seesaw combinations. That's
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
much. But I don't think anybody likes that. We just had one recently and I was just thinking about that. But yeah, I pretty much like everything. I think bigger jumps come a little bit easier to me. Well, petite, I mean, it depends on the teacher, but some petite allegro is just so hard and it requires a lot of coordination, which I'm not naturally a very coordinated person. So it's just takes a little bit more brain strength, but once I get it, it feels amazing. I think I prefer petite allegro the most, but
Oh, okay.
medium jumps
Nice.
come easier to me sometimes. Yeah.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Um, okay. Do you have a favorite dancer you look up to?
Lauren Winterhalter of Sac Ballet is my favorite dancer of all time. Um, I mean, I love Marianela Nunez and Mayara Magri and Ashley Bowder and Tyler Peck and all the dancers at PNB. Um, but I feel like the dancers that are here at the company are just seeing like ballerinas. I don't know. It just like makes all my little girl dreams come true. I'm still in awe of how ballet works, and I don't believe that it doesn't make sense that I'm doing this every day still. Um, yeah, probably Lauren. I love watching Michelle. I just love watching all of them, but Lauren is very, very magical. So probably Lauren.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you say that. I was thinking about it, and it's like when I was at my home studio, just dancing with other students, you don't really have like a professional dancer to work with and to see in person. And
Yeah.
when I came to Met, my favorite dancer was Jim Nowakowski, just watching him in person
Yes.
dance, and
Oh,
now being at Sac
he's
Ballet.
amazing.
Uh, my two favorite dancers are Victor and Bella to watch. They're just like so amazing. And Victor is
It's
a
a
big inspiration to me.
Victor and Bella are high up there as well. Yeah. Victor, he just exudes so much joy and I live for it. I think watching them do Black
Yeah.
Swan is like better than a rave. I don't like raves, but I feel like it's at the same level of amazingness. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's really cool that we get to be in
Yeah,
such a positive environment.
for sure. Yeah. Do you have any hobbies outside of dance?
Yes. Um, Mainly anything food related. I love eating good food. I just finished watching Stanley Tucci's Searching for Italy, and I was devastated to learn that the show was canceled. I also really love painting. Let
Oh,
me see if I have any. Oh, this is kind of random, but I painted this pot. Ugh. I painted this a couple weeks ago, so that was a fun little project.
oh, nice.
I also love sustainability. I'm actually working with a brand called Ballet to bring some tights and material recycling boxes to Sac Ballet. So I love anything
Oh,
sustainability
nice.
related. I love going on walks. I love interior design. My room is kind of, well, this wall looks a little blank, but I have lots of fun little things. And I also just love like moving because I know like when you say you're a dancer, like you dance to like choreograph stuff, but I love just like, I don't know, moving and just dancing for fun, having dance parties. Those are a couple of my hobbies. Yeah,
Nice.
just kind of
All
like,
right, next question. Oh, sorry.
no, you're good. Go ahead.
No, okay. Um, what is your favorite rep you've done? And you can split this into classical and non-classical, or just like have an ultimate piece of rep that you have loved doing.
That's so hard. I'm just gonna start with recents, like within the past year and a half, because if I chose from when I first started dancing, I don't know. Because my home studio, we did like full length ballets 3 times a year. So we did Nutcracker and then 2 other shows. And
Oh,
so
wow.
it was very, very, I don't
Dang.
completely understand how we got to do that. But like I did Giselle when I was 13, and that was a really amazing experience. And we also did, um, well, that wasn't really me dancing. We did like a lot of balancing stuff. But since being at Sac Ballet, I would say for classical, definitely Swan Lake. It's been a dream ballet of mine, and I get to do swans, which is mind-boggling. I'm super, super excited, and it's kind of a weird thing because you're like while you're doing swans, when you're actually dancing and like flapping your wings and everything, it's so much fun. But when you're standing there, you just want to die. So it just makes you think like, why am I doing this? But it's really cool. And then um, I'll do classical, contemporary, and then modern. For contemporary,
Okay.
Ilana Goldman's Entropic Variations that she set on us and we made with her, that was incredible. I never knew I could dance that way. And I know that even since then, like I've had more growth, so I would be curious to do another workshop like that. And then when I
Hmm.
was uh, 14, I had a modern teacher and she set a piece on us, and it was, I don't think it had a name, but it was based off of her mental health, and it was to the song, excuse me, it was to the song Secret by Clark. You should listen to it. It's kind of trippy and cool, but it was just it was the first time I'd like mentally committed myself to a piece, so I'd say that was kind of life changing. And it was just
Hmm.
very raw. Lots of like rolling on the floor, and I think we screamed and like stomped our feet. It was just like it exposed me to a different like realm of dance. But yeah,
Oh,
those
okay.
three. It's kind of funny. Small like contemporary and then like a screaming modern piece. But yeah, those are my favorites up until this point.
Hmm. Very
Yeah.
nice. Do you have like a favorite moment on stage or moment in rehearsal?
I definitely I love performing, but I
Yeah.
feel like the rehearsal process is kind of overlooked by audience, well, because the audience doesn't get to watch it. But I feel like there's so
Hmm.
many precious moments within that. I feel like all the quiet moments when you're in rehearsal and you're either dancing or you're on the side and you kind of just get to look around the room and see, like, oh my God, I made it, like I'm here, is a really special moment. When I'm on stage, I mean, even if we're just doing like flowers or something, I get so wrapped into it that my favorite moment is bowing because it's kind of like the accumulation of everything. Oh, I just did that. And we are so blessed to dance in such a ginormal theater. So you get to like actually look up and there's people all the way up there.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of a smiley person. And so expressing myself in that way just feels super awesome. So I'd say bowing probably. Yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
Do you have like a most embarrassing dance story?
Um, I I mean, I not that I can think of off the top of my head. I don't think so. I mean, I probably do. I just do a lot of weird stuff anyways. Like, but it's not like while I'm dancing, it's like on the side. Like, I just try to envision funny scenarios. I'm not sure. Pass.
All right. Fair enough. Okay, if you had to choose between doing a paw/duet, a group dance, or a solo, which would you choose?
I would probably choose paw, only because I haven't done a ton of them. Well, I haven't, yeah, because I would love to venture more into that and like have a really good partner. Like when we did the masterclass with Victor, or I was with Victor, and it was just amazing because once I got a correction during that about like being present and having the face of the character, not just smiling my way through it, which is, I guess what I'm trying to say is like finding the complexity of the character, but with another person, whether it's, you know, a traditional like male female paw or two females or whatever. I think that would be a really cool experience. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I would agree. Paws are super fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever had a like serious injury that has taken you out long term?
I haven't, which I'm really blessed about. I, from a very young age, have been pretty aware of like when something's hurting to get it checked out, even if it's not hurting a lot. And I've also always had either a physical therapist or someone of that sort to my disposal really easily, which is very awesome as well. But yeah, I'm hoping that I can just continue cross training and doing Pilates and all of that and avoid a serious injury. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Um, okay, what does a daily schedule look like for you as a trainee in the second company?
I love this question so much. I've been wanting to do a what I eat in a day for so long, but this isn't really it. But, so I wake up, I'm just gonna go by this. I wake up at this time. Um, I wake up about 6:45, but I don't get out of bed till 7 because I need to like I'm the kind of person that like when I wake up I have to just stare at the ceiling for a couple minutes. And then
That's fair.
I make breakfast and I eat a lot for breakfast. I have like a whole bowl of oatmeal and 2 fried eggs and a smoothie every morning. That's
Wow.
what fills me up. If I don't have everything, I'm hungry and then I get crabby. And then I try to leave the house by like 8:15, 8:30, so that I can get like a solid 45 to 50 minutes, whether it's in the studio or preferably in the workout room. We have a workout room at Sac Ballet, and it is awesome. And I spend like 15 or 20 minutes on the reformer, or doing, I forget what the term is, but it's like exercises with the yoga ball. And then, like 5 minutes before class, I'll head up and maybe do a couple other stretches if I'm really tight, or just say hi to people. But I need that time in the morning where I'm just like by myself and quiet. Um, Otherwise, it just feels too
Gotcha.
chaotic. And then class, and I always snack in between every rehearsal. I have trail mix or something. And then for lunch, I always have like a bowl of some sort, grains and protein and veggies and stuff. And then at the end of my day, I drive home and I have dinner, and then I'll either watch TV with my family, or scroll on my phone, or I've been trying to read more, but it's really hard because I just want to like not do anything, do like mindless activities. But that's my basic day. And I've also been trying to ice my feet, like do an iced, like ice bath, Epsom salt bath every night. I haven't been super consistent about that, but I have been doing it a bit. Oh, and I take magnesium every night because it's really good for your muscles. And
Oh, okay.
yeah, and then I go to bed at like 10, 10 on a good day, 10:45 on a not so great day. But yeah,
Oh,
I guess
okay.
that's kind of early compared to most people. Yeah.
Yeah, that's early for me. Um, would you say, or how easy or difficult is the schedule, um, dancing and rehearsing at Sac Ballet for you?
Um, at first it was a little bit tricky, and I think near the end of the week, like Thursday or Friday, I'm just kind of done. It depends on the rehearsal though. Yeah, because if we have a lot of like standing around, you can kind of get by doing other stuff on the side. But if we have like core rehearsals at the end of the day, that's kind of hard because you have to just like use all your brain power to not mess up. Um, yeah.
Hmm.
So I feel like it's I've gotten used to it. It was a bit of an adjustment at first because at my home studio I was dancing like 2 hours a day. So from 2 to 8 hours is like a big jump.
Oh,
But it takes practice, and
oh yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. In your opinion, what do you think are the most important qualities someone needs to have to progress in their training or to move up to the next level?
Um, I was thinking about this one because you sent me this one in advance, and so I've been thinking about this. I think it's kind of like a balance between maturity, but like self-knowledge maturity. I don't think it's completely dependent on, you don't need to check off a box. Can you do these steps and can you do these steps? Like, for example, our artistic director, Anthony, like when he was hired for a company, he couldn't do all these tricks that other guys were doing, but he watched them and he worked on his own, and in a month or two he could do them. And so I feel like it's like the flexibility of knowing yourself well enough to try something new and be fearless about it, because that's what the industry is about. It's about receiving, you know, uh, choreography from someone and
Yeah.
doing it. So just having the enough emotional maturity to know your strengths and weaknesses and how to combat the industry with that. Like, I was recently having a conversation with Colby Damon, one of our teachers, and he was telling me that, one of the biggest assets you can have as a dancer is knowing your strengths and your weaknesses and knowing how to like overdo your strengths almost, because you can always work on your weaknesses, but if you show, like if you're in an audition and you show people what your strengths are and kind of shove it in their face almost, like you just appear more confident and willing to take the risk, I guess. Yeah. Kind of a long answer, but yeah.
No, that's okay. Okay. How do you handle corrections?
I love getting corrections. It makes my day when I get a correction. I'm always looking for ways to improve, and I'm definitely an overthinker and very self-critical. So when I can hear someone else, even if it's a peer's interpretation, I mean, when it's coming from a good place, when somebody's like, you need to do this, I'm like, no, I'm not going to listen to you because you like when it's a peer. I mean, when a teacher does that, I'm not going to say that to them. But when it's coming from somebody,
Right.
yeah, imagine Jill gives me a correction, and I'm like, no. But when it's coming from a good place, I love getting corrections because I'm always looking at ways to improve. I know that for me, I learn a little bit at a slower pace sometimes. And so, yeah, getting as much opportunity to learn is really important to me. Yeah.
That's good. And then how do you handle criticism?
Pretty well. I am kind of a sensitive person, but at least with the teachers that we have here at Sac Ballet, they don't mean criticism as a insult. They mean it constructively. And so, and also for people like when I was at Ballet Met during the summer, they just have a very different way of teaching. Some of the teachers do. And so receiving criticism from them kind of set me off track a little bit because it was almost in a more insulting way. And I know that they meant that as like tough luck, like, you got to get tougher or whatever. But I just think that constructive criticism is so much healthier for the dancer-teacher relationship and for the student to grow or the dancer to grow. I feel like I handle it pretty well.
Yeah.
But again, that's like in the circumstances that I'm at where like we have mutual respect for each other. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Good answer.
Thanks.
Or do you consider yourself competitive in dance?
Yes, but also I don't feel like I'm in a very competitive environment all the time. I feel like everybody's like, I don't know, when I think of competitive, I think of like, she's doing 4 turns, I'm gonna do 5 turns, like outdoing someone. And I'm not that kind of person, but I also kind of am, now that I think about it. I guess I'm competitive in the sense that I know this question is changing a bit, but I know what I have to offer as a dancer, and I watch a lot of dance, and so I know, like, I don't think of it as competitive. I think of it as like, I'm going to put my own spin on this and wow people. It's not so much about outdoing the other person, I guess. So that's what I would say. I don't know if I'm competitive. Yeah.
Nice.
Put my own spin.
Okay. Yeah. How much do you still enjoy dancing, and how much does it feel like work for you?
It never feels like work. I mean, when I wake up on Friday mornings, sometimes it feels like work, but I'm not getting paid for it, so I feel like this point in my career is kind of fundamental because I'm setting up how I want to approach the industry, especially since I'm still paying to be there. It's very much a privilege, and that was another thing that my home studio really ingrained in me is like this is a privilege, and you have to treat the staff with the utmost respect. And yeah, like they were super strict about some things. Like we couldn't yawn and we couldn't like lean against the bar, and like they don't do this anymore with their
Right.
kids, but they were very strict with my level. And so there are all these just random things that are just ingrained in me. Like, okay, it's my responsibility to show up and like be the best person that I can be and learn from my experiences. And I'll be curious to see because I'm hoping to get a contract one day, and I know that'll be in a couple years. But to see how it like evolves my perception of the privilege that we get, because if you think about it, I mean, we get to go in every day and dance and just think of different ways to express our feelings through movement, which is kind of amazing that we have that privilege. So, yeah, I feel very blessed to do it. I have to crack my back. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, next question. Has there been like one event or moment in your lifetime that really resonates with you or motivates you to this day?
Uh, I'm trying to think. Is there? I don't know if there's one, but I feel like the more live performances that I get to see, the more inspired I become. So I was able to see Miami City Ballet do Jules, and I listen to the music a lot
Mm-hmm.
for Diamonds when I'm driving to the studio, and it just really reminds me, like when I'm having an off day, that this is the goal, like to do those kind of ballets. Um, so I wouldn't say there's one, but I think just keeping everything in perspective and like still having my geeked out ballet moments continue to inspire me and fuel my energy. Yeah.
Mm. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is my last question. If you could give your younger self or any young dancer advice, whether in dance or in life, what would it be?
Um, keep doing what you're doing. Every ounce of effort is noticed, even if it's by someone that you wouldn't expect. Um,
Yeah.
dancing should always be fun. And this one's always hard for me to hear, but the end all be all goal isn't to be in a company, it's to have a healthy, happy lifestyle. And so if being in a company
Yeah.
or second company isn't the right fit for you, it's okay to take a step back. And there are so many opportunities in the dance world that are endless. You can teach, you can be a historian, you can become really rich and be a patron of the arts. There's so many different ways to be connected to the dance world, and it isn't just defined by one thing. Um, yeah, but I think never forget, never think that nobody's watching. Somebody's always looking and noticing the effort that you're putting in, and you're doing great. I don't know. That's what I would say.
Yeah, very well said.
Yeah, thanks. I thought about it
Yeah,
for a couple
well,
seconds.
thank you so much for yeah, well, thank you so much for being on the show today. Um, yeah, you are such a positive person in the studios, and when I first came here, you were one of the first people who talked to me, and we could bond over ballet mat for like the first 2 months of the season. And
Yeah,
yeah,
awesome. Well, thank you, Jojo. You're an awesome person, awesome dancer, very inspiring. And he coaches your turning guys and it works. So, thumbs up. Two thumbs up for Jojo Siwa. And I picked out, well, I didn't pick out the shirts that he's wearing, but I was there. So, it's on the record.
yeah, we went to a farmer's market yesterday, a little group of us, and there was a thrift store, and I found this nice shirt in the women's
And I
section.
found this tank top. It's green. Yeah. Thank you so much for having
Nice.
me.
Yeah, you have a good rest of your night, and I'll see you on Tuesday for Tech
All
Week.
right. Yay, Swan